The Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism's Expo and Job Fair coming up. Kymn Anderson, the Chamber President, is with us, so we have to be on our best behavior. She has a couple of guests with us, and also I did a little interview this morning. I thought it went very well, by the way, with Christy Satry. She's marketing analyst with Consolidated Communications. Delightful young lady. It was really a lot of fun.
Good. Good morning, Gordy. How are you?
Good morning to you. We will be visiting with Christy in the second segment of our program here today. So,
and Consolidated Communications is the major sponsor of our expo this year, and they were last year too, so we're really happy to have them again help us manage that event, and there's going to be a lot of fun things that they're going to bring to the game on April 21st when we have our 25th annual Business Expo.
Wow, it's been a quarter century.
Can you believe it? Time flies when you're having fun.
Makes me feel old.
Some of the people that we talked about last month when I was here that had this as a brainchild 26 years ago and started planning for it, Milo Larson from the Faribault Print Shop and Jay Treadway from Treadway Graphics and Steve Cole from Parker Cole Funeral Home. They were ambassadors for the Chamber at the time, and they decided there had to be something to celebrate business that was a little more expo style. So they started this event, and it was in a couple of different locations. It was at the Eagles, it was at the Legion, it was at the mall one year, a couple different places, and it's been, gosh, I don't know how long, but quite a long time now at the Ice Arena, which is the largest facility that we can find to accommodate our 90 participants.
Yes, 60 businesses plus, and then 30 community.
Yeah, and the 60 can waver a little bit. We try to squeeze a few extra in. We've got a few in the lobby and a few on the sides, and so it'll be more like 65 when it's said and done. And then Dee will talk a little bit more about the community showcase, but that's a great addition to the expo, and we're happy to be working with the Faribault Foundation to do that.
Now, how many years has that been now?
I think this is 5 years for that partnership.
I remember when it started. I thought, what a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great way, and the foundation makes it possible for churches and small groups and clubs to participate in a pretty big event at a very, very low price. So it's really thanks to the foundation's sponsorship that can all take place.
I'm sure it's hard to get firm numbers. Do you have any idea how many people stroll through the Biz Expo?
You know, it's interesting because there's a lot of business-to-business activity that goes on, and the businesses that are there tell us that that's probably the best value for them is the other 90 businesses that are there with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people, and they're milling around and talking to one another. And then 2 years ago we did a count, and I think it's pretty easy to say that there's about 1,000 people that come through that are just general public. We also bring some students, and we can talk about that as well.
Yeah, you're going to bus some students over. What a great idea that is, too.
Right, with the job fair component and the fact that so many students really are, I guess all kids, right? What do they know about the business world? They know what mom and dad do for a living, and maybe aunts and uncles and that kind of thing, but they don't really know, as many of us don't, what else is out there, what kind of businesses or opportunities might there be. So they, by having an activity for students to come out and explore career opportunities and talk to business people about, well, what kind of education would I need to work at a place like this, or what kind of jobs do you have? And obviously the business people love doing that and sharing information because those are their future employees coming through.
Yeah, how did you decide to get into radio? That's where you started out of college.
Yeah. Well, I can't stop talking, Gordy. That's part of the deal. So it's just so easy to turn that microphone on, and then I can talk and talk and talk.
I'm just curious.
That's interesting.
I don't know
right?
if I'd ever asked you that.
It seems like a long time ago, so it's hard to, memory's a little fuzzy about that.
Because when you're in college, you're thinking, well, what can I do with my communications degree, I would assume?
Right. Well, I started at the University of Minnesota with the idea of having a degree in journalism. I got derailed by falling in love and getting married, and then going off to broadcasting school.
FallingInLovelandBuildings.com website. think of Grandpa came back and heard me say, Ag Power Enterprises, your John Deere dealer with locations in Owatonna, Hollandale, Belle Plaine, Osage, and Northwood, Iowa. I digress there because when I was visiting with Christy Satry, and we'll hear that interview here in a few minutes, we talked a bit about the technology. She's been at Consolidated Communications. They haven't always been named that, as you know, Kim. But she's been there for 16 years, and all the changes she's seen in 16 years is
Boy,
amazing.
isn't that the truth? We all kind of get a little bit dizzy in the head thinking about the changes and then thinking about what do we have to be ready for, because it's not going to stop. The pace of change continues, and we gotta, even old people like me, Gordy, we have to figure out how to stay in tune with what's going to be next.
Kind of makes your head swim.
Yeah.
Well, I was over in Kenya yesterday, visited with our good friend Larry Taji at Taji Jewelry.
Right.
He got some letter in the mail. Of course, he has his website through us, and he got a letter in the mail about re-upping his domain name. Well, that's already handled through our company, but he was asking me about it because he said, I'm an old guy, I can't understand all this. I said, well, I don't understand it either, Larry. So
take it to a teenager, they'll figure it out for us.
Absolutely, or even younger. Anyway, I'll let you introduce our other guest here, Kim, because you brought the guest.
Wonderful, thank you for that opportunity. I'm happy to introduce Dee Bjork. Dee is the executive director of the Faribault Foundation, and she's kind of new to that position, but doing a lot of great things with it, and we're excited that the foundation is again sponsoring the community showcase at the Expo. And so I'll let her tell a little bit about the foundation and what's going to be happening at the Expo.
Yeah, first of all, Dee, and we'll probably visit again in the future. I know we've talked about doing a show specifically just talking about the foundation.
Yes.
But how long have you been on the job?
Started January of this year, so I'm pretty new.
And so far, how's it gone?
Well, great. It's Faribault is my hometown, and so this is where my heart and passion is, and so it's a great opportunity for me to kind of give back, and it's also a learning experience. It's not a career that I've had in the past, but it's something I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah,
so.
it is interesting being basically you're a fundraiser, right?
Right. That's right. I'm asking people for money.
Trying to get more dollars so you can do good things in Faribault.
We do great things in Faribault. It's a foundation that just collects money, and we give back into the community in various ways. But we this year are doing some pride grants, and that money comes back to the community in an organization or a group that needs money for a project. And so an example would be last year we gave money to the Tilt-A-Whirl car, so there'll be a second car that's on Central Avenue this year. And then we gave money to the Riverbend Nature Center that continues education for the kids there. And so we just we want to take the opportunity to just keep enhancing the quality of life in Faribault, and that's what the Faribault Foundation does. So it's pretty simple.
Well, you were down in that area with your business
On
prior
Central
to going
Avenue,
into this.
that's right.
You weren't too far from the first Tilt-A-Whirl car.
Right.
I marveled at the number of people that were there last summer.
Yeah, and every day there would be a group of people that were having the photo opportunity there at the car, and so it's just been really a great asset to downtown. And the second car will be a different color, and that'll be in front of the State Bank.
Neatest picture I saw was a married couple getting their picture taken in that Tilt-A-Whirl car.
Oh yeah, and then lots of people that just kind of grew up in this community and experience the Tilt-A-Whirl, throughout their lifetime, and they come back and get their picture taken there.
You're going to say something, Jen?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that that we give Dee the opportunity to talk about how this money gets collected, because there are great projects that the foundation is able to fund, but there has to be a funnel coming in, and she's got a plan that I think is really brilliant about how she's doing a 365 project.
Oh, okay. Sounds great.
Well, the board, who is comprised of people that are Faribault area residents, and we have a great board on the foundation, decided that we should have a 365 campaign, which is $1 a day or $365. And so what that does is that gives to that pool where we'll do those pride grants again, but it also makes you kind of a member of the 365 team. And we want people to be supportive, but also active in the community of where they think there's needs. And, just be passionate about what's going on here in town and to keep it the vibrant community that it is.
Well, they say it takes a village to raise a child.
It does.
Takes a village to raise a village.
It does.
Yeah. You know, that is a perfect tie-in to our next guest today. Mark Nelson is the ad manager at the Faribault Daily News, and they really took a liking to our theme for the year, We Are Faribault, and in fact did an editorial about the fact that that should become a rallying cry. And Mark and I were just looking at each other as Dee was talking about her passion for Faribault and her story of growing up here, and that's what we're trying to capture in the We Are Faribault message, is that everybody's got something that lights them up about this community. Maybe it's, I was mentioning, you know, the kids who love Wapakuta Park, or my children who grew up and went to Garfield School, and it's almost a tradition where we drive by where Garfield was and talk about how fun that was. So
the carnival they had there every year, that was fun.
Right, and everybody's got their story, and so the Faribault Daily News is picking up a project, kicking it off at the Expo, and I'll let Mark tell more about it.
Yeah, we're kicking off a video project at the Expo, and it's exactly what Kym was talking about. You know, the We Are Faribault theme, that mantra, that, you know, we're passionate about it. We all are. And what we'll be doing at the Expo is taking videos. People can come up and do a 20, 30, 40-second video, and we will be posting those videos on our website or on our Facebook, on Chamber's Facebook. We'll let the public, businesses and public, talk about why they're Faribault. What do they like about Faribault? What's great about Faribault? You know, Dee, we want to get you out there right away, because that's just the passion we're looking for, right there. The way you phrased that. Yeah, and we're going to kick it off at the Expo, get it out there, then we'll advertise it and promote it, and then throughout the summer, spring and summer, and into the fall, throughout the rest of the year, we will be encouraging the public to take their own videos, their own photos, get them to us. We'll get them on Facebook. We'll be doing some Facebook contests. We'll have chamber bucks out there, but we want people to talk about why they like Faribault. And you know, it could be the people that grew up here. It could be the people like me who didn't grow up here but have a passion for the community and why we have a passion for it, and the excitement level and getting it out there. And when we move forward, I don't care if, you know, I'm hoping that we, you know, take shots from Belfield or from the lakes, or it doesn't, or from the Tilt-A-Whirl. We don't care. You know, give us something different, and you know, get it out there. We'll get it up on Facebook, and we'll talk about why the community is supporting Faribault.
Well, what makes a community? People.
Exactly, and it's an exciting project for us.
And that's a great element that we are excited to add to the Expo, because the focus is on the organizations, on the businesses, but behind every one of those business names or organization names, there's a bunch of people like Dee and the members of her board, like Mark and the great people that work at the Daily News, like you, and you know, we want to capture those great personal stories about the people. Why do you do what you do? What do you love about this town? What is a great memory you have? There's just so many ways that it could become just a wonderful source of community pride, and I'm just thrilled that we're kicking that off.
Well, you grew up in Montgomery. I grew up in Spring Valley, but I've lived longer in Faribault than I lived in Spring Valley.
Absolutely, and it's your home. It's where you've, for me, where I raised my family, where I, you know, built my relationships and career, and you know, we love Faribault. So how do we talk about that? And you know, even if there's somebody who thinks, oh, I don't know, maybe you're listening right now wondering, I'm going to go to the Expo, will I be able to do it? Yes, you will. Your story, whatever it is, whether you're a senior citizen or a young person or new in business or been around forever, your story is part of the message of We Are Faribault. So come on out and
so you can have a booth
be counted.
Set up where people can come and...
Yes, we will have a booth set up, and the plan is that when people walk in, they'll get a little card or a little piece of paper that reminds them to stop by our booth and to come in and do their video and shoot the video, and we'll get it up and online and get people looking at it, people talking about it, and then we'll get it out through you guys probably, and then through us, you know, talking about it more often, get people to do it all summer long and get a contest.
Was it Sister Sledge that did the We Are Family song?
I can hear it, I
Can you
can
say,
hear it.
We are Faribault?
Oh.
You know, you have
Yeah,
a
right,
recording.
Good time, I like the
There you
Faribault
go.
piece,
There
yeah.
you
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We could write a song here, We Are Faribault.
We could, you got it started there, Gordy, thank
Blankets
you.
and beans and blue cheese.
Yeah.
There's a way, that's like the downbeat,
Yeah,
right?
I put that in there. Well, what do you think, Ann?
I think it's great. I think it's a great
Bee.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bee?
I think you're onto something, Gordy.
Well,
Or on something, yeah.
Whoa,
Wow, but
We're too much alike.
That's
So you're
great.
involved in the community showcase. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well,
if you would.
the Faribault Foundation helps sponsor the showcase, and we have the area for the nonprofits. So there's about 30 positions for those people, and it really does bring them all together, and so the community can see who's doing the work in town, and we help defray some of that cost. So we just encourage people that have an organization that wants to get involved to let us know, contact the chamber, and we have about 10 slots left, and they'll go
Oh, you
quickly.
do?
So yeah.
You still have 10 slots?
Yeah, so we're anticipating that those will get filled up, and, excuse me, and so, contact the chamber if you're interested in getting your group on the list.
Yeah, the hardest thing is the manpower. You know, to have somebody
Yes.
man your booth. I know
Yes.
that's what I found with some of the organizations I
Oh,
work
sure.
with. Oh, who's gonna man the booth, that kind of stuff.
Right.
You're
People
right,
work.
that is a challenge,
Yeah.
you know, and part of the reason that that's such a challenge is that, you know, volunteers are hard to come by sometimes,
Mhm.
as well as workers. So I'm leading into the fact that this year we're really focusing on the job fair component too. So there's a lot of elements to this event on April 21st at the Ice Arena, and it is only an afternoon, 2 till 6:30, so it's not a huge commitment for people to make. But there's some planning, and you have to set up your booth and all of that. So we know that it is a commitment. But the job fair part is really important to some of our larger businesses who tell us over and over again what a struggle it is for them to find enough people to fill the positions that they have and the people with the right skills. So I'm going to put it out there that if you think you could use a career change or a job change, or if you're not employed or wondering what might be out there for you, try to make yourself available and come by and see the great employers that are using this as a job fair opportunity as well. We've got Sage and Daikin and Faribault Foods and ABC companies and a lot of the bigger companies, Caves of Faribault, and then the Woolen Mill, Jenny-O Turkey Store, a lot of the bigger companies, as well as the staffing companies like Manpower and Spartan, and some of those are coming to try to build their team and encourage people to come to work for them. And then we have so many of our great local businesses that come out too and just are eager to show people what they're all about and share maybe a little bit about their history and a little bit about what they have planned for the future. So it's a great opportunity to learn more about Faribault.
All right, we'll talk more about that, do a little more of a synopsis of what's going on that day. But right now, I think we're going to hear from Christy. We had a chance to interview her earlier today. I think it went pretty well.
Sponsoring the business after all.
Yes, they are. And boy, it sounds like a lot of fun too, Kim, that, I don't know if you had a chance to hear all the goodies they're bringing, having Hy-Vee cater.
Absolutely, it's going to be great fun, and we appreciate Consolidated Communications, and we appreciate them working with our great business Hy-Vee for catering that night. And the after hours is going to be kind of at the tail end of the event, and we're going to play a bingo game, and so people who come for the business after hours will get a bingo card, and there's going to be some fun activities around that. So you can see we're trying really hard to make this 25th anniversary Expo a little bit different, a little more fun, a little more engaging, and we're glad to have our friends from the Faribault Foundation be part of making the community showcase happen. And the new feature of the We Are Faribault activity is going to be really fun. Gordy's singing a song over there.
I got another idea.
He's got a second
boy.
verse
goodness.
all going. So, and just a quick recap to make sure, it is a job fair. For many of our businesses that are there, we'll be using it as a job fair. So that component is there. We welcome people to come and if they're looking for a job. There'll be lots of prizes, there'll be lots of fun activities. We encourage people to come and spend as much time as you need to see all the different exhibitors and visit with people. It's the 25th annual Expo, and we're excited to be offering it to the community.
You could have a Faribault choir sing "We Are Faribault."
You know, that tune is in my head now, and it'll probably never get out for the rest of the day.
Don't you think that would
I
work?
think I do, you're right on, Gordy.
I think it'll work.
Okay,
I don't
well,
know, we must have to get permission from somebody to use the tune.
you know, I kind of like asking for forgiveness instead of permission.
Oh, okay.
You know? Sometimes it just gets things done quicker. Did I say that on the radio?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
wondering.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
kind of
did.
thought that myself.
I did. No, you know, I think we'd be probably okay with that.
And again, are you taking these videos the entire time of the expo?
Yes, we are. We don't know about the after hours. We don't know how crazy it would get at that time.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But you know, yes, we are taking it. We want to encourage as many people as possible to get out and tell their story, and tell us about why they love Faribault, what's great about it, and we want to that'll be the kickoff. The more videos we get out there, the more the rest of the public will see it in the next few months, and encourage them to get on and do the same thing.
And the hours are again 2 to 6:30?
2 to 6:30 at the Faribault Ice Arena. There's also a few other things going on in that area on that same day. It's the dedication of oh gosh, I'm going to have trouble remembering the name now. The track is being dedicated in honor of a Faribault Falcon graduate from way back that was a Olympic runner, and so on that day there's going to be a lot of activity in the area. So we're asking people to be patient and realize that they're going to have to maybe park a little ways away. We're going to try to leave a few spaces for people to be able to do some drop-offs so that it'll be convenient for them to come and spend the time with us. But another great event for Faribault, and something for you to look up, Gordy, about this long time ago resident of Faribault who graduated from Faribault High School and ran in the Olympics, and the track is being named after him on April 21st out at the track. Yeah,
Well, I certainly
yeah.
hope that he's in the Faribault Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, let's hope so. Right, the gentleman is actually making the trip back from his home now in California. So I'm saying a lot of things that I know very little about, so I hope that you'll run a story on that down the road.
I'll definitely be, my stomach's growling. What is that?
Must be breakfast
break.
time.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Always talk about the food and IB catering.
Well, that might be it. But you know what else at the Expo, if you want to think about food, there's always those great exhibitors who realize that it's a long afternoon and they got their little treats sitting out and their prizes, and we're collecting all that information now. And so over the next 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks from today, if you check out the Chamber's Facebook page, you're going to see a lot of information about the exhibitors that are going to be there, as well as the prizes that they're going to have. So it's if you like our Facebook page, Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism, you'll get a lot of information, and you can be planning your whole afternoon on April 21st about where you want to make sure you get to at the Expo.
There's no admission, right?
There's no fee to get in. We're just happy to have people come. As I mentioned before, we do have a couple busloads of students coming right at the opening at 2 o'clock, and we're excited about that because it gives them a great way to learn more about the community. It's a very organized student activity. It's not just go crazy kids. They have a very specific assignment. They have to learn things about certain businesses. They have to learn some specific details. They are monitored by their employer, about their instructors and teachers regarding how they interact with shaking hands and making eye contact. So
Maybe
there's a
write
lot
an
of
essay.
learning involved in their participation.
All right. Nice meeting you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping in. Thanks, Kim, for bringing the guests and also for helping us get Christy on the air. That was awesome.
Happy to do it. I'm always glad to be here, Gordy. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I enjoyed visiting with her. I don't have a show yet for tomorrow, so I can't tell you what we're going to do, but we'll have somebody. We'll talk about Faribault High School play on Monday. You're in tune to KDHLA.